Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's the rainbow clip.
That was beautiful.
And I think we should bring our guest in soon. Let me do a brief introduction here, though, if I may.
Go right ahead,
Lawrence.
yeah.
Make sure the audio is all set.
Yeah.
So our guest, ladies and gentlemen, our guest is Tom Cavanaugh. He is a Somerville native. He's a graduate of Somerville High School. That would be class of 1966. So he's older, wiser gentleman beyond our years. Later in life, he went to get a master's degree in liberal arts from Harvard University. He's a retired teacher. Yeah, Harvard, please. He's a retired teacher who has taught overseas and in Los Angeles at the high school and adult school levels, and briefly at UCLA. He currently resides in Somerville and has a strong interest in spiritualism and mysticism, which Lawrence and myself are you know, trying to
I get down.
Trying to learn,
I get real down.
you know, learn more about from him about. And then also he's working on his book, Lawrence. Don't know if you I mentioned this at all. Losing Our Minds: A Handbook for the Upcoming Shift. He says he's not sure about the you know, the second title there. However, I do like it. I like it. The Upcoming Shift.
Yeah.
So all right. So do we have the guests ready?
Tom, do we have?
Nice. All right. Excellent.
Yeah, we are. All right. Welcome,
ladies and gentlemen. He's arriving.
Yeah. If you want to pull in here, sir. Welcome to the Tom. Larry. Fremont, you're familiar. Come in.
Tom,
get settled.
Good to see you.
Yeah, that's the Velvet Nihilist on the camera there. So just come on over.
Are you now? Are you good over there, Tom, or would you like to be in the middle here?
No, I like to guess I'm on the left here.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Why don't you squeeze in? Squeeze in a little more.
Okay. Or we can come this way. Here we go. Yeah. Whatever way we size it up. That looks good.
We don't want the Velvet Nihilist doing too much work for us here.
Well, I noticed your rainbow, and that really was kind of appropriate because I remember back in the 70s, a guy named Alan Watts, who was a real mystical guy. They call him a philosopher, and I don't believe he's still in the body, as they say.
Okay.
He said you need three things to have a rainbow. You need moisture or water, sunlight, and consciousness. If you don't have one of those three things, you don't have a rainbow. And that kind of tells me that the rainbow is really not out there. It's in our minds, really.
Really?
I really never forgot that quote.
Yeah.
And I don't have a lot of time to talk about the mind and all that. But Einstein himself was, I used to have Einstein quotes at Belmont High School and San Fernando High School. And,
shout out San Fernando.
Still there back there in LA. And Einstein said the material world is an illusion.
Right.
This physical world is an illusion. And now quantum physics is basically proving what he said, that it is not a world of matter, it is a world of energy and ideas. Under the Newtonian idea, which is pretty much accepted, we had little atoms that were like the building blocks of the material world. But come along Einstein and the work that he did, which was pretty extensive, obviously, and he pretty much said that reality, he also said time is an illusion.
Sure.
Which is really, people have kind of heard this, but they're not quite sure what's he talking about, well, you know?
Anybody that's seen the show can attest that time isn't linear, because there is, sometimes, it's allegedly only 28 minutes, but it can feel like a good like 47, or a year or two, sometimes.
Yeah, when you're struggling. That's some material.
Sometimes we get frozen in time, we're just there like a, you know, the cosmic egg rotating live on the air, but I'm sorry, did you have
Tom, I'm curious. You know, you called into the show. I think we're a couple weeks in. You had mentioned it was John Lennon's anniversary. I think his birthday coming up. He was gonna. How old was he gonna be?
Would have been birthdays.
Would have been.
You gotta love those.
Obviously. Well, it's 70,
the celebrities suck so bad now. We have to be like
another hippie, by the way.
So, well, my question is, So, what turned you on about the Freemont Show? Because, you know, the audience out there, you know, I think we're bringing them great content on Wednesday nights at 9:30.
Well, if you pair the
answering
rainbow,
Tom's question, by the way.
If you pair the rainbow with what I just said,
right.
It kind of amps it up a bit. because I really think that people need to amp up their consciousness, because you did mention the 2012 scenario,
Yeah.
and there's different versions, but I really believe that things are going to change, that this really, with the change in quantum physics showing us that the world is not real,
It's an
basically.
illusion.
There's no material world, and that we need to go along with that and change our consciousness, because if anybody looks at the world, it just looks kind of strange.
Sure, absolutely. Can I? May I just have a
Jump in, Lawrence.
quick
Go ahead.
2012 question? Now, I don't believe that the world will end, but obviously there's something about to happen,
shift.
considering what's going on. My question is, and it's been one that I've been asking myself, where will you be on December 21st, 2012, 11/11? Where will Tom Cavanaugh be?
Well, first of all, that date is not something big's going to happen that date. That is the beginning point, and it's actually already begun. If you want to go to our ultimatereality.com, this guy can really explain it. He's in the Isle of Man, and he really gives, but he said there should be light workers, people who go around and warn people there's going to be some stuff happening, but don't fear it, because it's going to be an awakening. And when you start looking at quantum physics showing us that this world, I mean, in quantum physics, it's amazing. The particles appear in two different places at once. I mean, it's just a different, and this is science, and I'm not a scientist, it's a different view of reality, and people's consciousness is not aligned or in tune with that view. And people are into a lot of, you see what's going on, you mentioned politics.
Now, what can Lawrence and myself, you know, the average Joe,
Careful.
the Somervillian,
Average
you know, myself interested in politics, but yet I'm often overwhelmed by my frustrations, as you might see on the show often, Tom, or on the blog.
I'm 62 years old, and I was always, it's in my blood, politics, and it's taken me a number of years to realize that's not where it's at. It's into the
So that's
spiritual world. This is all a big game.
Right.
It's
And you've only found frustration because that's all it's offered, I feel like.
don't change the
Really?
world,
So-
change the way you think about the world and view the world. If you get some information, whether it's from quantum physics or mysticism, there's a great line from the Bhagavad Gita, which is the Indian Bible, and it's Lord Krishna talking to Arjuna, and he says, at birth, Arjuna, all men are immersed in delusion. That's really a basis of Hindu texts. Thoreau and Ralph Waldo Emerson,
anarchist?
they were all into that.
Thoreau?
They were, you could call them anarchists. They didn't believe, you know, there's a God sitting there and the church. I don't want to get into it too much. They were into spiritualism, and things are not the way they seem. So if people, this is, what you see is like the tip of the iceberg, and you get so caught up in politics, and you can see how nasty it gets.
Right.
When I believe that, and that's not even talking about the ecological stuff down the road, and financial ruin.
It's already
I mean,
happened,
it's probably too late. I mean, this is really a dream that's going to turn into a nightmare.
How do you think this is going to manifest itself in, you know, I am trying to base this question in reality, but how do you think this change, as far as, will it be for everyone, how will it manifest itself to the people that simply wake up, get into their car, drive to work, come back, that ultimately probably don't even care about social issues?
Slaves.
Right, yeah. We're just, you know, buying their processed food and,
Well, that's the
you know.
religion of this country, is consumerism and materialism, which is the exact opposite of where people's focus should be, which is on spiritualism. The world that we see, supposedly see, is like the tip of the iceberg. The real world is the other world.
Right.
Now let me ask you this along those lines, if I may interject just briefly. We're so surrounded by capitalism. It's almost an impossibility not to, you know, connect with it in some form or another. I mean, you know, Thoreau went out to the woods.
Conquered.
To, you know, sort of.
And now they're trying to basically appropriate the woods that he went to.
Right,
There's,
right. It's a tourist attraction now, but
there's a push on to save them. They're going to basically level them. So.
Oh, really? I didn't.
Yeah, I know. It's a nice little thing for everyone to.
Yeah, to go to sleep on the
I
Freemont
got to throw in a
Show.
quote from John Wheeler, who was a scientist. It sounds like an Einstein quote, but he said when the the theory of everything, the unified field theory is written, the word love will be in there either as a noun or a verb. Now you use the word corny out there. This is not corniness we're talking about. This is reality. Jesus, who has really had Christ consciousness, whether you buy into that or not, he knew he was not his body. He could say, Lazarus, come forth, because you're not dead. There's no death. This is all a charade. So Jesus knew that. So Jesus is really at the top.
Are you saying perhaps
an enlightened being is what
a human camaraderie will sort of lift us above these, worldly things like capitalism, that sort of thing?
Well, you can say it's unsustainable. Do you agree with that? I don't know, most people.
No.
It's really unsustainable.
I think at the pace we're going at is pretty unsustainable.
Really, yeah, if you crack a newspaper. May I ask a few other questions?
Sure, go ahead.
Because I'm fascinated.
We are winding down. I think we got
I
only
just
a
want
couple
to
minutes
kick
left.
off a few. So, Tom, can you tell us either briefly, I either want you to touch on one of these. Have you had any paranormal experiences, or do you believe in past lives? If so, what would your experience be? Do either of those sort of strike anything with you? Have you ever had any paranormal experiences?
Well, I don't know what you call paranormal, but at a very early age, I looked in the mirror and said that I am not my body, and we are not.
Yeah, you almost don't recognize
fleshy
yourself.
garments.
Believe me, I've taken LSD and looked in the mirror before. That's the exact
Well,
same
there's some
thought that
schools
you
of
had.
thought that use drugs to get into enlightenment, and they believe that.
I graduated from there, actually.
No, it's just amazing that people get so caught up in this world and become miserable. Why does God let this happen? God let that happen? The delusion is, according to the Course in Miracles, we think we're trying to get back to our source. That's what life is all about.
Yeah.
But what they say is we were never separated.
Yeah, it denies
There's never
you,
been a separation.
it sort of denies you satisfaction as you're a human being. You know what I mean? It's sort of saying, well, you need to live this life to then again, achieve this other thing. It's the carrot. It's the dangling the carrot in front of us. And
also, the holographic nature of the universe, you cannot split up a hologram. Separateness is an optical delusion of our consciousness. There's another Einstein quote.
You heard it here on the Freemont Show.
Only on the Freemont Show.
Hang on to your remotes, folks.
I think that's all we have time for. Tom, we're going to get you back, hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Hopefully we'll get you back soon. And I hope you enjoyed our guests tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And
Tom Cavanaugh.
Tom Cavanaugh.
Somerville native and resident.
Right? What's up, Somerville?
Back here in Somerville.
All right. Well, thank you, and have a good night, Somerville.
Yeah.
Oh,
That wasn't too bad.
No,
well, we didn't get the outro, but that's...
No, we didn't get the outro on? Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom, no, really, that was great.
Yeah.
Well, you should
I just got a quote today.
Yep.
If you wish to understand the secrets of the universe, think of energy, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla.
Oh,
I just got
know
it.
him. Yeah,
not,
sure. We're still
Talking
going?
about EMFs and cell phones, what cell phones are doing to people.
We gotta go?
Yeah, it was
Missed it. Fall in your lap.
Shit.
We had it right there, too.
Yeah, I wasn't
You didn't
looking.
see it going right.
No, is it coming back now?
I just saw a red blip.
No, it was just.
Okay.
Thank you, though. So, are you able to, Vaughn, to do that?
Finalizing, yes.